Sensory Storytime really does open up the library to children who may not otherwise feel like they have access to it, and families who have access to it. And that's because sometimes it's hard for our kids to be quiet, to sit still, to just sit and be able to read a book quietly like you're supposed to do in a library. And so really Sensory Storytime is about meeting the families where they are, and that might be where they need some space to walk around whenever they read a book, or to be more interactive when they're reading the books, and to sing, and everything that Tricia brings into that program really is about meeting them where they are and to open up the library to them in a way that makes it an accommodation. We are really hoping to expand it, and if not in every branch, at least hoping to expand it to every kind of quadrant of Summit County, to where it's accessible for everybody. And I know that the library system has been hard at work, where Tricia's training other librarians to be able to do the program, and we're just thrilled with that. So we're hoping to continue to support that in any way that we can. From our part, we got a grant from the Millennium Fund for Children, and that really helped us to fund the materials that go with it, and the little sensory balance beam, and some of the stuff that the library needs to really put on a good program. So we're hoping to continue that partnership and help them expand it throughout Summit County.
Sensory Storytime began in North Carolina. I was a children's supervisor librarian there. In August of 2008, we scheduled a program. I have not a background in special education. I'm a librarian, master's degree librarian by trade, and we just took a leap, and the program that we do today looks nothing like that program that we had then. We really were just trying to provide something. Everything that we've done to improve the program from that point has been because parents have been so helpful to give us feedback and evaluate what we're doing. And so we are able to have the product that we do today, which is a much more responsive program to the customer's needs. To prepare for a session, I set up the room in a very simple setup where the distractions are minimal. Whenever I've programmed in a lot of different rooms, and I always look at what could possibly distract, be it vertical blinds or books and clutter. So my room is set up very simply. I just have a table in the front with a IKEA canvas toy box, and inside the toy box I put my program in order, so it's simple for me. I have the schedule on the wall, and I have the sensory balance beam at the back of the room set up behind the tables in the area where we do the social or playtime. When I start the program, I like to go over the schedule for the day. I also like to welcome. That's the first part of the program that I have. After going over the schedule, I like to welcome everybody and explain that the class is not intended to be exclusionary. It's to offer a safe and non-judgmental environment for people who might not consider that their family is, a library customer, and that we have options for them. After the welcome, I do the hello song. The hello song is a very acoustic, mellow song. It has no jumping, jarring, or spinning. It is an acoustic song where we do a little bit of rocking, and then we also wiggle our ears and blink our eyes, and we end up with waving hello. There's other adaptations to the sensory related things. So that would include, instead of clapping, we do knee tapping because it's less jarring and doesn't make as loud of an echo sound. The music that I choose is more acoustic. It's not as rabble-rousing as I typically would do in a music story time. The mirror activity is an activity that I received as a tip from the librarians at the Public Library of Cincinnati and Hamilton County, and that is where we incorporate an unbreakable mirror into the program towards the beginning of the program. I love it because this is not a group that I would use name tags with because of sensory issues, the sound, the crunch, the feel of having a name tag on you. And by using the mirror to go around and sing a very simple song, I'm able to find out the child's name and get to engage with them in a way that's not intimidating to them, because I do use a safe distance so that I'm not intimidating. But also it's a way to welcome everybody individually to the class by using their name in a way that's friendly and welcoming. Because I've been doing the program for so long, I have a repertoire of themes that I've used over the years. I find that the best books for the program are ones that allow for production of prop or any kind of thing like a flannel piece that would allow the children to have that extra element of involvement in the program. If I sense that someone is distracted, we have some elements that we would pull in to try to help the parents. We have fidgets, including koosh balls and little twisty things that we can offer the parents if they need the tools for their child. I incorporate a beanbag activity into every class because it exercises social skills that some of us may take for granted. Passing a beanbag to each other in a group that has special needs or disabilities is often a challenging activity, but it's really great to see the progress that the children make with the encouragement of their caregiver and the siblings modeling behavior, and it's just a really fun activity. I like to use it every time because I like to see the progress that the children are making over the course of time. We utilize the sensory balance beam in the program because it allows me to use Lori Berkner, one of my favorite music artists, for her balance beam song. Additionally, the benefit to the children is multiple. They can use the balance beam. It's a sensory balance beam, so it has knobs on it, and it can provide sensory calming or stimulation depending on their sensory, where they are sensory-wise. And so they can use it without their shoes, and they can sense that. What I like to watch is how the children line up, because lining up for the children who are attending this class is something that they're working on, and so it allows them to, with or without their parents, see how they're interacting with the other children and take turns and line up and enjoy in a group. Sometimes if it's really successful, I'll play the song twice if I see that we have a lot of kids who are enjoying and taking nice turns. The bubbles are such a joy to watch with the children. I've been able to engage children in the bubble portion of the program who perhaps have not been engaged prior to that point. It's something that they look forward to. It's something that they remember. It's a way for them to interact with other children as they're running around the room and engaging in the bubbles. It became apparent right from the beginning, way back in 2008, that the social and playtime was so important, not just to the children for them to have social interaction with each other, but for the parents to also have a place where they can relax and know that the children are there and they're engaged in activities with other children and with adults, and that they are able to talk to people. They talk about doctors, they talk about therapies, they talk about things that they're doing that are working for their children, and the value of the social time is just, the impact, I think, of the social time is so very important. Our partnership with the Autism Society of Greater Akron has been phenomenal, and part of that is that they have such a great volunteer group, and part of what the volunteer group does for them and for us, for our program, is every month when we have a book or a theme, we pick a book that we're going to be doing in the program, and we create a storyboard. After the program, each family can take home storyboards and they can retell the story at home, which is very important for narrative skills. The ideal personality for engaging a group in sensory programming in general is extreme flexibility. When I'm in the room, it's nice to have a partner, but I've done it in the program without a partner as well, and to be fully aware of every aspect of what's going on in the room is ideal. Being able to change the program at a moment's notice. Even though we have a schedule, I have had partners in the past where if we looked around the room and we saw things were getting a little chaotic, we would very subtly take a schedule card down, stick it in the done envelope, and skip on to the next thing. And it's okay to do that. Just knowing that it's okay, and that the families who are attending these programs are extremely appreciative. They offer terrific feedback, and moving forward with their support and their feedback is just the most ideal situation.